What's good, YouTube? This your boy Yugioh Bender coming to you with a quick deck profile. I wanted to try something new with Qliphort. You know, I've been playing Cleese for a long time, and I got it right now in the deck profile. But the thing about this one, I wanted to play a little different, just because I've been playtesting it a lot, and I've seen little errors in here and there. And another thing, the more you play it, you start seeing the weaknesses of the deck. So I wanted to show you guys what I learned from the deck. So there's like the version 3 or 4 of it. Some people might agree with the choices, some people might not. But I'm going to try to tell you my side of the view as I go through it. Hopefully you guys understand and don't dislike just because you don't understand why I'm choosing certain things over certain things. But the deck is pretty good. It's tier 1 to me. It should be in everybody top 5, top 10. The deck just too powerful with the Necro Valleys, the Soul Drains, the Skill Drains. It's just too powerful. It just destroys BA. It destroys Blue Eyes with Necro Valley and Soul Drain, so they can't bring back their monsters. And it stops their graveyard effects. And then they also beaters, because you got the ones you can set in scale. I play Qliphort Lunch. I play the ones that decrease attack so you can run over the bigger monsters. And then Sacrifice also give it 300. So with that being said, let's get into it. I run triple helix. Sorry about that. This card, you need to run at 3. Some people play 2, but just because Blue Eyes don't set a lot of traps doesn't mean you shouldn't play 3, because BA got the Fall Blades and stuff like that. And every deck, including Demise decks, even the Magic Specters and stuff like that, they set back row. So only Blue Eyes don't set that much back row, but every other deck really do. I know people say people don't set a lot, but if you play in a tournament or you see other people play, people still set a lot of back row, and you also got to be scared of strike and warning. So you definitely want to tribute summon and stealth or something and try to pop the back row or return the back row or monster for game. So Helix should be at 3 just because it's back row removal. Same with Carrier. Instead of running all them traps, you need to draw monsters to win games. And Qliphort Carrier is one of them cards that allow you to win games just because you contribute it, and you can OTK because you remove their monsters and it leaves they field open. Carrier is one of them cards that you definitely need at 3 because it's monster removal. Just in case you can't get over the stronger monsters, you can use Carrier to do it too. The same with Stealth. Some people play 2 Stealth, but I like 3 just because they can't respond to him when he's summoned. When you tribute summon him, you automatically can out their cards unless you target. If the card can't be targeted, but it's like an auto out. You can out all the monsters in the back row and they can't respond to it. And another thing about it is, if you open up Scout, you can always put Stealth in the Pendulum Zone, or you go Demise and you need a low scale. Stealth is one of the ones that you want in the Pendulum scale because it gives you 300 attack. So it's good with Sacrifice because your monster opening turn could be on 2400, and it can always give you that 300 boost for your Carrier and your Helix. And also, it can power up your Disc so it can run over Blue Eyes, and it can also power up another Stealth or Shell or Cephalopod because they'd be strong enough to run over Blue Eyes or stronger monsters. So you definitely need 3 Stealth, 1 for just in case you get Warning or Strike or Bottomless, and 1 for the scale and 1 for the tribute summon. But people always gotta play cautious when you play Cleese, because if you lose your monsters with the low monster count, you can't get them back from the grave, no way. So you definitely want to run as many monsters as possible. Just because you run in Demise don't mean you have to run monsters, because you can always put the monsters in the scale, the extra ones you draw. And you only should play Demise when you really need it. You shouldn't just be activating Demise just because you can do it. You should be playing it cautiously, because it can cost you, because there's a risk to draw the cards that you might need or might not need. So you got to play smart with your Demise. And another reason why I play double Disc is because I found running 1, I would draw the Disc, and I would want to always get it to tribute. So I was like, okay, if I draw a Disc, I can never tribute summon it unless I use Climate Change and get it back from the extra deck and put it back in my hand. Other than that, I draw this so much that I wanted to have that second copy just in case I draw this. I can always search this off Sacrifice, search this off Scout, and still tribute summon for it and still get the double summon for the OTK. Once this, you can always draw into it, which makes it dead for the tribute effect. Two this, you can always get it off. Of course, you run the one Scout because it's the heart and soul of the deck, the Stratos of the deck, but it's just better because you can use it twice per turn. And on top of that, it can search spells and traps. Monolith, you need it for the extra draw power. You need it for the extra attack because it's always going to be on 24 or higher. So you do need it for the extra attack. But this is the one that you can cut the most. You can win without Monolith. We used to do it back in the day too. But it is important to have if you do have one because the extra draw power and stuff. But Cephalopod, I use this one just because sometimes you use your strike, your warning, and your scout, and you need that extra light points. And this is like a cowboy because you can't really summon cowboy unless you don't have no scales. So you can always like, okay, search, summon him, and do the extra damage, and you can win a game. Same with Shell. It's just for that case where you need to tribute summon to do that extra damage over a Marshmelon or a Spear Reaper, and you need that extra damage in. Shell does it. Card of Demise is self-explanatory, but all the thing I can say about this is a card like Pot of Duality that you gotta watch how you play because you might draw into something that you need. Like say if you draw into a scale and you can't pendulum summon, or you activate Demise at the wrong time, you draw two monsters and you can't summon the other one, so you gotta discard it and lose it. Or you draw too much back row when you got too much back row already. So you gotta watch how you use Card of Demise because it can hurt you sometimes and also can help you. But Card of Demise is just a risky card. It pays off more than it hurts, but it still got that drawback. I definitely don't think Demise should get hit. At first I did when I first played the deck. Oh, Demise is a little too good. But the more you play it, you start getting them bad draws or draw too many of the same cards and stuff like that. And it'd be like, okay, it's kind of balanced. So Demise definitely shouldn't get hit. That's one of the reasons why I ran this deck over Blue Eyes, because nothing in this deck should be hit, and Blue Eyes is going to get hit by the ban list. So this is a good safe pickup to win tournaments and play in tournaments without having to worry about changing your deck when the ban list is up, because this deck most likely won't get hit. Necro Valley is the MVP of the deck just because every time you activate against Blue Eyes, Burning Abyss, and mostly every deck is basically auto game because they can't remove from the graveyard and they can't activate stuff like Return of Dragon Lords and Monster like Reborn cards. So Necro Valley wins me the most games. I would definitely say this is the MVP because it shuts out a lot of the meta decks from actually operating. They literally have to play around Necro Valley and it hurts them so much that they really can't play. Like the card won me so many games just for activating it. It's good against Call of the Hunted, against Cosmos and everything. This is the best card in the deck besides Scout and Sacrifice. Double Twin Twisters. This can be good because of Summoner Arc. Like sometimes you might draw into the targets and you need something. Like you don't need the card no more, so you can always discard it. I used to play 3, but I cut it down to 2 just because you only got 2 targets. 3 was just too much because you can draw into the extra 2. Even though you can Twin Twister them, you rather have a card you can play instead of just a discard outlet, because you never know what you gonna need. One Stormforth MVP because it don't target. It's another great card just because it don't target. It gets over Chaos Max and everything. You definitely should play the one Stormforth because it's like an out that you need, and it helps you get your Cleaves effects. So that's good. Sacrifice, you know, this is probably one of the brokest cards they made that's not banned. It's just too good. Double Strike, that's what you need. Warning the same, no explanation. I do play 2 Magic Drain, but I don't have a second one, so I played the Cephalopod and the Disc because I only got 1 Magic Drain, unless I play 2 and cut one of the monsters. 1 Vanities. You know this win games too, and it's a game clincher. Like when you got the field that you need, you can just flip this, and they'll have a way to out it. Is like they lose. Soul Drain is another card that if you don't draw your Necker Valley, you can always use Soul Drain against BA and stuff like that, and it wins games. Skill Drain, MVP card, shuts down a lot of decks. And on top of that, it puts your Cleese at a high attack, Reckley 8. You just need it just in case you don't draw a Skill Drain. Climate Change allow you to get your scouts and your discs and your cephalopods and your shells and your stealth back, so you can tribute summon them again. This is like a chalice, but it's better because you can search it. And rivalry, like I said, I don't have a second rivalry unless I cut the other disc, and I cut the cephalopod for Magic Drain in the rivalry. But since I only got one Magic Drain, one rivalry, I'd rather play the monsters. But you're gonna like to build with the monsters too, because it's more win conditions with this and cephalopod. It is more win conditions, but the only thing that's bad, you don't really get to see your rivalries and your Magic Drains as much because you only want run one copy. And on top of that, you do run Powder Duality and Demise, so you have a better chance of seeing them because you got more draw power. I don't play Soul Transition because sometimes it'd be more bad than good. I'm going to have to play test with it a lot more, but Soul Transition just wasn't cutting it for me. And most of the times I wanted to keep my monster. And what's another card people run? I think I got a pretty good build. You should try it out for yourself. And if you have anything you would change, please let me know so I can build it better. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. And this Yu-Gi-Oh! Vendor signing out.